Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be about the Core Essentials belt. So, I've known about Core Essentials for probably a year or so now. It's a belt that I've thought about getting, but because I've only been able to look at it on the internet and not actually hold it in my hand, I was a little hesitant about, just making an order for it. It was last week I was out of town and I stopped at a place called Royal Range in Nashville, Tennessee. Royal Range used to be a movie theater, and then these people took it, converted it into a shooting range and a gun shop, and it's a pretty cool place. So if you're ever in Nashville, Tennessee, I highly recommend checking it out. But anyway, they had some Core Essential belts on display. They did not have all of Core Essentials products up, but they did have a couple of selections. They had the nylon style belts, and then they had a couple of the leather dress belts. I decided to go with the nylon belt because the nylon belt is what I wear on a regular everyday basis. I wear a 511 belt. It doesn't have a tactical buckle on it or anything. It's just the nylon belt that you pass through the plastic buckle and it tensions in. I've been wearing that I've been wearing that style of belt for quite a while. I remember it's probably back around, before before 2012. Our agency got some new uniform pants, and with those uniform pants came the 511 belts, and started wearing that. Wore it, in regular clothes, off duty, and it just became a favorite belt of mine. The first one I had, I wore that thing until I ended up I backed up against a wall that had wet paint, and it got paint on it, so that wouldn't wash out, so I ended up getting me another same model, and that probably was, 2018, 2019, so I've been wearing the same style belt for quite a while, and I just wanted to go with the nylon look because it's the same that I've got. Anyway, so what is it about the Core Essential belts that makes them different from any other belt? Well, it is the ratcheting system for the buckle that makes it so unique. And so the buckle itself, although it looks like it's one of those tactical buckles that you would squeeze in the middle and it would unclick, this doesn't do anything. It just looks like a buckle. The buckle itself is on the inside here. Let me take the clothes hook off. So this buckle right here on the inside that faces your body is this little claw. And then on the tail end of the belt are these little grooves. You see those teeth marks in there? So it's almost like a set of handcuffs. So you click it in, and then when you try to pull it apart, it won't come apart. The only way to get it to come apart is you have to press down on this little claw, and then boom, the belt comes undone. So you can see that again. Now, one thing that I was unsure about when I was looking at it on the internet was this part right here. I was concerned. I was like, I wonder how easy it is to hit that and then boom, your belt start to come undone on you. When there's no tension on the belt, of course you can press that in and it comes undone easily. But when you put tension, like you would be wearing it, and there's forces, exerting on the belt after you tighten it on your body, when there's force on there, you can't press that down. It won't come undone until you release the tension and then it comes undone. So that was when I started playing with it there in the store. I was doing that, and I thought, okay, all right, I feel more comfortable about wanting to buy this thing. So with that belt system, it comes with the coat hanger. So if you wanted to, at the end of the day, you could leave this on the closet and then just click your belt in and let that thing hang from the clothes rack. On the back of it, it has an extra hex wrench in case you misplace the other one that comes with it. So it has a nice little attachment right there so that, boom, it always stays with the little coat hanger thing. Inside the bag, you get another hex wrench and a couple of, actually 3 hex screws. And there's 2 screws that are already in the buckle itself. When you purchase this belt, it comes in one size. At least one size to my knowledge. It's just a one big ass belt. And on the inside are measurements. The lowest it goes down to, or at least the lowest it gets marked down to, is a size 28. Now, I guess you could, if you wanted to, keep on going. I don't know who has this thin of a waist. I mean, I think 28's pretty damn thin as it is. Maybe like a little kid or something would want to wear it. And the longest it goes out to, we can see 53 right here, but it's clamped in right here, so that tells me that this is a 54 mark right there. So it comes out, so the belt itself comes out universal size of size 54. So if you are a size, let's say you're a size 38, what would you do? Well, you would go down to your instructions right here, and this tells you how to size it. So trim to size. Remove the hex screws on the back side of the buckle. Boom, those right there. And then unclamp the teeth, which the teeth are this little thing right there. Push that back, and you can see those aggressive teeth right there. So when you clamp that thing in, it bites down into the belt. So remove the hex screws and undo the teeth. See the ruler marks on the back of the belt, which I've showed you that. Use your pant size, add 6 inches, and then cut. For example, if your pant size is a 36, cut at the 42 mark. Insert the end of the buckle clamp down teeth, tighten hex screws flush. So, you go down to your belt size, add to it, snip, take this buckle, set it in there, push the clamp down, drive those teeth in, and then take your hex wrench and drive these screws down into it. Feed your belt left or right around the waist and through the buckle until snug. Pinch release tab under buckle to loosen or remove. Enjoy. Do not over tighten screws. So pretty simple measuring process there. You just find your size, add 6 inches, and then cut, and then that's where you add the buckle at. So that allows you to have some variances in your body. So before lunch, right? Like you're a little bit thinner, you haven't ate a whole lot in the morning, and then lunch comes around, you have a big old meal, and you start to get a little bit bigger. You're like, oh man, had a pretty big lunch. Simple fix. You just press that thing in, loosen this belt out a little bit, however far you need to go, and then boom, you're more comfortable. And then as the day goes on, you go to the bathroom, whatever, the belt may be getting a little bit looser. You just pull on it and boom, you tighten it up. So that's pretty cool. Also, let's say, a couple months go down the road and you haven't been eating the way you need to be. You actually add a couple pounds or whatever. you've got quite a bit of adjustment with this track right here. So quite a bit to work with here. So you could, you could go a couple months and not eating right, and if you normally, when you put your belt on, it clicks to here, and then a couple months go by, you've been eating like crap, and your belly's getting bigger. You've got quite a bit of wiggle room right here to adjust this belt out to accommodate you. And then, once you start eating better or whatever, then you can click it back down to its, normal spot where it would be at or whatever. So I like that ability to make those very minute adjustments. And because it's on this very rigid material, it's not likely that it's going to wear out like a regular belt would with holes through it. So one of the issues with a regular belt that has holes in it, and you put the little latch through there, is over time, as this belt stretches, those holes get bigger. And then your belt starts to deteriorate and then break apart at that area. So I've had plenty of belts in the past where, put the little latch through the hole, and over time, it makes that a weak point. And then you can't wear the belt anymore. I mean, you can, but you run the risk of the belt, kind of coming apart and then not holding your pants up anymore. Then you'd be looking like a fool with pants on the ground. So this appears as though it would last a longer time than a regular belt with just holes in it. And it just aesthetically looks better, in my opinion. You don't have a bunch of little holes right there, and then, after a while, when you do start having that torn look on the belt, it looks kind of crappy or whatever. At least with this kind of style and design, it's not going to be looking crappy after a little while. So I like that aspect of it. This was the only style buckles that they had on the belts there. Core Essentials does have other style of looking belt buckles out there. I'm going to do some more looking and see which one I think looks better. I mean, this works, it's fine, but I just don't like the aesthetic look of it. I like to find a more solid piece. Kind of make it look like a, I can't remember the damn name of the belt buckle, but it's just, a solid piece right there. The belt itself is pretty rigid. It's got some thickness to it, and a rigid gun belt is what you want, especially if you're going to have an outside the waistband holster. With an inside the waistband holster, it's not that big of a deal breaker. It's always best to have a rigid belt when you've got a gun on, but it's really, really important to have a rigid belt when you have an outside the waistband holster. So this belt right here, I can hold it up and hold it right here, and it's still like, it doesn't really droop or flop down very easily. You take another regular belt and you try to hold it up like this is just going to go, it's going to fall down. With a rigid belt on an outside the waistband holster, that keeps your holster in a more consistent vertical orientation, and it doesn't start bowing outwards or anything like that. So rigid belts are what you want for carrying a gun. And it's also important if you have an inside the waistband holster and your inside the waistband holster utilizes clips. A thicker rigid belt is more preferable because that gives a purchase point for those clips to dig into. Ideally, you should be using loops, soft loops on a concealed carry holster. Those are the better way of attaching your holster to your belt and keeping it there. But some people, they don't like those, or they just don't have a holster that has those and they have the clips. And when it comes to a thicker belt like this, that is best for those clips. That way you can ensure that they actually clip to the belt and don't come loose. Because that's the last thing you want, is those clips on your concealed carry holster popping loose, and then you squat down and your leg presses into the holster, and then boop, pops your holster out of your waistband, and now your gun's fall on the ground, and then everyone's freaking out and saying you're an active shooter or some crazy shit and causing a big old scene. So anyway, that goes back to why loops are better than clips. But a rigid belt can help make those clips stay on a lot better. So I am going to start wearing this belt. I'm going to cut it to the size I need, and then put this thing on, and I'm going to wear it. I'm going to wear it for, I don't know how long I'm going to wear it for. I'm going to wear it for a while, and then I'll do another video on this talking about my likes and dislikes about it. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.